Hello. Good morning, good day, whatever time it is for you. Good morning. This is Hug Nation Live. I'm John, or Halcyon, and I am running a little bit late today, but I'm in a good mood, eager to connect, share some gratitude, hear what you're grateful for. Can you tell I'm starting a little fast? Okay, let's do this. What you grateful for? Maybe a song will get me kicking into gear. Coming together to share everything we like. We share about our relationships, our new toys, and our bike. We share the things we take for granted, like the air and sky. And then you notice all the things that you see with your bright eye, because it's easy to find things to be grateful for. Easy to be with people that see it more. It's so nice to have a chance to share together. Tell me about your life, your friends, and the weather. Good morning. Oh, it is Wednesday. For some reason, it feels later in the week for me. And we had a holiday on Monday. Maybe it's just because that makes things out of whack. Good morning, Gerbot. Eager to hear any highlights from your burn. I saw a little flash of you in a little clip someone sent me from the Pink Ride. I believe that was you. Gerbot says, grateful for a wonderful burn. You know, I can't tell you how happy it makes me to hear so many positive responses from people coming back. Early in the week, my heart was hurting as I was feeling the challenge, and as I was grateful I wasn't there, I was also like, oh man, I knew there's several people that I had kind of helped along the way, giving them stuff and guidance and things, and I was just thinking about them being like, oh. And every one of those people is re-energized, recharged. They loved the adversity and what it did for them and forced them to do. And so, yeah, makes me super happy. Good morning, Julie. And good morning, Juan. Oh, I think I saw your post, Julie, that you are in recovery mode. At least I think that's what I read in your response. Healing from a lot of days in the desert. Gerbot says it was a little challenging in the beginning, but that's all part of it. The weather was amazing the second half. I kept thinking about what it must have been like. Someone said, I guess Wednesday is when it cleared up. And if you had endured the winds and the rains and had so many obstacles to kind of doing what you came there to do, whether it was, sharing gifts or hosting people or participating, because it is hard to participate in the rain. There's different things you do. You hunker with your campmates and make fun, but I remember how frustrated I got when, after the rains wouldn't stop the previous mud year. And I'm like, you know what? Screw this. And I got an umbrella and I put plastic over my rain boots and had loaded up with all sorts of gifts and there were I visited camps and talked to people, and I made it not even all the way around a single block before my legs hurt so bad from the extra weight on my feet from trying to just walk like in these weird places in my hips. And I was like, So I am so grateful to hear how many people are having attitudes like you're saying. Yeah, that was all part of it. The weather was amazing. The second half. In the mud year, the opposite was true. There was some beautiful, cool weather in the beginning of the week, and then I think I'd rather go bad weather to good than good to bad. Julie says, also grateful for another amazing year in Black Rock City, overflowing with gratitude for my place and position. Julie adding, super challenging equals mega rewards. So true. And that's one of those, I mean, if you can get that at Burning Man, it is one of the most valuable life lessons to help with your resilience, with help getting through the inevitable downturns and struggles and difficulties and health challenges and obstacles in life. And that was something I remembered a lot during the week as I was seeing the conditions that reminded me of my camp destruction, Zara's destruction in 2000, and how difficult it was until I was able to make those adjustments and realizations and epiphanies about surrender, about letting go of expectation, about that core lesson of Byron Katie, where if you fight with reality, you'll lose, but only 100% of the time. And that, with the case of Zara, I was so focused on the destruction of our camp that it didn't even occur to me that I could put on an outfit and ride my bike to the city that was unaffected. Unhappy? Change your circumstances, change the location, change the habit, change something. If you don't like it, change it. Obviously, that's not always possible, but it's more possible than we think. Often when we think of ourselves as trapped, we just either don't like or haven't considered all of our options. Gearbot says, grateful to have a week off after to clean up and decompress. Nice. Well, while you've been gone, I have been getting a lot of traffic to the videos I've been posting about Burning Man, defending Burning Man, celebrating Burning Man. A lot of that traffic is from people that are just thrilled with the opportunity to attack Burning Man. So that's one of my lessons of during Burn Week, is in finding a relationship with a lot of negativity. And it's not my first time. I certainly get attacked here and there, but it was a pretty good percentage of the comments I got this last week, and I got thousands of comments over the last week. And when I would see I have a new notification, like my desire to go check was like, there's probably a 65% chance that this is someone saying that Burning Man sucks, it's drugs, it's orgies, it's go find Jesus, or who the fuck are you? Who fucking cares what you think? And you're fucking old, fucking gay. And it's like, oh man. But even within that all, and because I was getting so much traffic, it's been inspiring me to spend more time on videos, and that's been fun. In fact, I don't think I did show the one yesterday of the, it's a super, I'm gonna Thank you, Julie. I'm just going to share one of the things that I made. It's very brief. I've even started scripting some things, and I've been using a teleprompter to get some read some things that I've written that someone said something. I said something, someone reposted it, and so I'm I'm gonna make that into a hard little clip. I find that I've been doing a lot lately is I find a clip from these morning things where I like the idea, and so I take the clip from this, and then I spend 5 hours turning it into a 20-second video. And I sometimes think to myself, this would have, since I spent so much time editing it, it would have made more sense to just make a higher quality start video rather than spend all this energy with a lower quality video, lower quality, and anyway, little inside baseball maybe. And then I also those videos, since I'm already getting so much hatred, I'm you know what? I'm going to post the Rizzard, I'm the Halcyon the White video that I didn't post a while back because I got some feedback that it came across as a little self-centered. And I'm bring it. I can take it now. All right. Gratitude. You want the captions on it? Yeah, let's do it with captions. All right.
I want to remind you that a gratitude practice doesn't mean that you pretend that everything is always awesome. It's a way to remind yourself that at all times, something is awesome. And that light can pull you through the most extreme darkness. I'm John Halcyon Stinn. I host free daily gratitude circles.
Did you see the flower symbolizing the thing that we find to be grateful for, even when there is dark stuff in the world? And then the tunnel, and he's going towards the flower? Too much? I don't know. Michael, good morning. Good day. Michael says, a lot of people, including myself, don't really understand what Burning Man is or what it's for. Maybe that's where the misunderstanding comes from. First off, what an awesome way to contribute to a conversation about something that you don't understand. Because that's most of the people who don't understand. They've heard somebody say something negative, and so they are very committed in their desire to attack it. And I've been writing and journaling about this and how powerful it is to find camaraderie in common hatred. And we see it everywhere in the othering of people. When politics basically is a game of how can you brainwash people into enough hatred of something that they don't understand so that we feel together and we're against them. Even if by being against the immigrants, we end up siding with the 0.0001% billionaires that then convince us to make decisions about policy that help them. But that othering, we're very susceptible. And so as all these people the awareness that you just said, I don't understand this, is such a healthy vibration to be at. The scary, dangerous thing is most people, I think, feel more comfortable saying that sucks rather than saying, I don't understand it yet, so maybe it's not for me, or until I understand it, I'm not going to put any more energy into it, or you do you, but that seems like crazy to me. All of those attitudes are healthy. Yeah, you know, and it was surprising because of the videos that I talked about. I mean, I'm a stranger talking about an experience that inspires and has inspired me to be a better person. And people, the response to that is fucking maniacs and drug dealers and spending all this money that could be used in homeless. And I'm like, actually, after so many people were like attacking burners for wasting money that could be used in better ways. And I'm like, well, I mean, and Burning Man inspired me to start a homeless charity. It's in its 16th year right now. So, yeah, it takes resources to experience anything. Like, it takes resources to travel the world. Yes, it's expensive to go through Europe, to go through South America or Africa. And you definitely will be better off if you do that. Spending money and resources so you can experience things that are outside your normal status quo and outside the narrative that you are being fed by power structures that want to be able to convince you to do whatever helps them. Yes. I mean, it sucks that it takes resources. And there are ways that you can do it on a shoestring. And in fact, there are low income tickets to Burning Man even. It's not for, I mean, it takes money. Like if you don't have $1,000, then it's hard to do Burning Man. But if you don't have $1,000, you're also not going through Europe. You're not traveling and having any, with $1,000, it's very difficult to have a cultural experience that will transform you. Prove me wrong. Give me some examples of how for $1,000 you can have a culturally expanding experience. And I don't mean like, actually, if there's like some VR see the world experience that is comparable, then I would love to know about it. But I mean, a VR tour of Burning Man is not the same thing as living for a week in a non-transactional environment. And what happens to you when you start to really feel what a community that is based in gifting, not barter, not transaction, but based in a communal desire to fill the cracks, to heal the things, to help one another, to make the event better for one another. You know, it's like if you've ever been traveling and you go to some country that all you know about it is you've got some narrative. It's like, it's third world. You know that their political leaders are mean and aggressive. In your mind, you probably think the country's mean and aggressive, and then you go backpack through, and everyday people on the street are like, "Hello, come into my home, have tea." You're like, what? Those are the kind of experiences that make you realize, oh, I could be acting different in the world. The way I think you're supposed to be in the world is the result of where I was born, to who I was born, and when I was born. We are born into a reality. We are born into a culture that defines our reality. And then if we have luck and guidance and experiences like Burning Man or travel or mentors, we spend the rest of our lives stripping away all of those truths about the way the world is and the way that we're supposed to be. Now, some of it is super helpful. Like, yeah, when in the U.S., you should drive on the right side of the road. Yeah, there's reasons for that. It's helpful. But that's a result of a cultural agreement. Money is in a cultural agreement. There's things that we are under the spell of that agreement without even knowing it. And that's why when you see people attacking things like Burning Man, they don't really hate Burning Man. They are just unknowingly employed by the system to attack anything that might be undermining of this consensual reality, these rules, these limitations that do allow for an amount of efficiency. But really, that efficiency is to benefit a whole class that does not let it trickle down, despite what those people might tell you. So I have compassion for all those people who are attacking me and attacking Burning Man. I understand. I actually understand way better now, after this last week, of that human instinct to find tribal comfort in shared attacking the unknown, the different, the other. And I am so aware of how those attitudes and beliefs do not come from the inside of those people, from personal experiences. Like, oh yeah, my burner was a brother, and then he was a jerk, and then I went to Burning Man with him, and I had terrible experience, and these people suck. It's like, that's how we should be living our lives. I heard a story. Let me see if my personal experiences align with that. If so, then okay, that story I'm going to keep that as a part of this reality that I'm living in. But if not, go, whoa, that's not my truth. I mean, that's how, I mean, for if you were born in the US in the 1700s, you wouldn't bat an eye as your neighbor was mistreating their slaves, because that's the reality that you were born into. And it just, your brain works in such, as soon as it has a reality system, it is not aware that it is an optional narrative and story. It just understands that to be the way it is. And in fact, there's a good chance that as some abolitionists came through town and was saying, we need to free our slaves, you'd be like, who the fuck are these guys? And your neighbor's like, yeah, get the fuck out of our town, you weirdos. We all like to think that we would be the ones who were the big-hearted civil rights activists, and maybe. But even if but that's a process. Like, I know I'm talking long. I'll let go of this thread in just a second. But like, my grandpa Caleb, his mother, he was raised by his mom, was racist. And he was born into a community, an environment that was racist. I mean, to be fair, if you are part of Western culture, especially the United States, you are also born into a racist culture. I'm not saying you are racist. I'm saying that we have a culture that has the deep, entrenched racist things that are part of it. And if you're saying not me or nuh-uh, then I'm not going to go down that aisle. I learned a lot during George Floyd aftermath reading books like White Fragility, and I encourage you to do the same. Changed the way I thought about how open-minded I was, how free from any sort of prejudice and bigotry I am. But so my grandfather, it was through a lifelong study of the words of Jesus that he started to realize Jesus Jesus wouldn't have done that. Jesus wouldn't have done these things that these pastors are saying. He would have treated everyone as their brother or sister. He wouldn't treat any different race differently. He wouldn't treat women differently. He wouldn't treat gays differently. So if I'm going to be a man of Christ, I need to really strip away this reality that I've been born into. And that's courageous. And that's what we all have to continue doing. We've gone a long way, and we can look back at the past with some judgment. But I guarantee you have these layers that sometimes get stirred up, and sometimes political leaders and sophisticated algorithms have ways of just like tickling you in these ways so that you hate that, or whether it's a sports team or a politician or something. So good luck to us all as we work on the process of recognizing how much of our thoughts are the result of the outside in, and how much of our thoughts are the process of our inside truth coming out. If that's really interesting to you and you're like, oh my God, we could talk about this for hours, maybe we should be working together in a coaching capacity. That's the kind of thing that I really like to work with people on, that process liberation. Okay, sorry, I'm not sorry. Thanks for understanding as I let the thoughts flow. Pierre, if you're still here, grateful for an amazing multi-day festival where I got to share my light works on multiple stages for an intimate crowd in the Dutch countryside. My heart is full. Sweet, Pierre. I so feel like I've hung out with you, Pierre, and I look forward to doing that. Hugh, hello! Thanks for being here live. Hope you're still here because it's been 10 minutes since you posted that and I got on a roll. Anybody want to share something they're grateful for? Let's have a few more minutes for that. The new quote says, "That's terrible, but also that recount of their comments is hilarious. I come from your viral videos and appreciate your insights about Burning Man." Awesome. Hello. For a while, I was like I was like copying screenshots of some like the really raunchy or stupid or gross things that people are saying. I still may like make that into a video about this kind of topic, about be careful how susceptible we are to the othering of others. RE says, attack the unknown because it's different. Exactly. And it's I think, not to be conspiracy theorist, but we do know that there are efforts by either foreign sources or internal sources to affect tone in social media. You know, there are bots and bot farms that will stir up and plant ideas to try to make it feel like, oh, everybody thinks that Bernie Sanders is a communist or whatever. Why? Because certain things are dangerous to the status quo, to the power structures. If you look back in history, and you can look at things like the hippie movement, you can look at like the drug culture, the acid like awakening that was happening in the 60s, and then how media and messaging turned those things into jokes. Dirty, smelly hippies. I mean, the number of people that commented about, oh, I can smell the BO, oh, smelly, dirty people, dirty hippies, that came in the Burning Man comments. It's like, I'm of the belief that there is an actual intentional effort by governmental or non-governmental but power structures to invest money into discrediting and diluting any movement that is potentially has potential to wake people up and question the power structure. This is not a normal gratitude subject. Okay, what are we grateful for? I'm grateful that I have the freedom to say this out loud, and at least at this point in this country, I'm at very minimal risk of having consequences to sharing a belief in an idea. I used to say there was a 0% chance that there's consequences. I now believe there is a low percent chance, but only because there's many more high-profile people. I do think that we live in a country now where there can be consequences to freedom of speech that is deemed dangerous. That's like, I felt that in my body as I said it out loud. Oh. Chris says, grateful for another year of reflection after the playa. Definite yin and yang spikes for me, but grateful for the opportunity to be exposed to all the greatness, even if hardships that coexist. It's one big package. Hello, Dawn in Utah. Thanks for dropping in. Juan says, to all the burners that did it this year, you absolutely earned it. You did it, and it is that much more of a gift. Thank you, wind, dust, and rain. Oh, I love that. You know, I was remembering, if you guys were there, the first mud apocalypse. Was that 3 years ago? The burn was delayed 2 days, I think. And by that time, most camps were broken down. Many people had left. But going out to the man for this, like, after a week of blue balls, a week of edging, and then the exuberance and the shared camaraderie and the we fucking earned this night was so powerful. So I can imagine what the city was like when it finally dried up. Sarah says, good morning, just joining. Look forward to listening to the replay and to catch up on the combo. That is, of course, unless the powers that be accidentally delete it. Grateful to join you after a busy art show season on the road. Grateful for my customers, fans, and friends. Sweet! Amen, Gerbot. Sarah says, grateful for my many years at Burning Man and knowing that my tribe is here. I'm really grateful for how connected I felt to Burning Man and the Burning Man community while I was not in Black Rock City. I was very lucky or whatever to have those videos get a lot of exposure in different people's algorithms. So hundreds, thousands of burners that I'd met or had seen my videos in the past 20 years wrote me beautiful things. And I was like, it was not the same as walking around Playa and meeting people in person, but there was some of that, I'm so connected to all these people. And then there was so many people that spoke to me about how they too were going through life changes where maybe they skipped this year or were their second year, but they were working through the complex feelings of relief and missing and identity shift. And then to have things in the temple, and Sean sent me pictures of the things that I created for the temple in the temple, so I had that in my mind. And then seeing pictures of Pink Heart happening, and then seeing a little video of the Pink Ride, I was like, oof! I really felt like I was a burner during Burning Man. Oh, and I did the Pink Ride here. If you haven't seen that video, I dressed in pink, friend in pink, 2 Pink Fur bikes. We cruised around San Diego State. So solidarity, my people. Temple of the Heart in 2023 was the oldest temple ever. That's awesome. You mean because of the delay in burn? That's very cool. Well, I'm grateful for this space of safety and connection. I'm doing my quarterly Men's Day gathering this Sunday, and I'm grateful we had choir practice at my house last night. We had just the tenors and baritones, which is a small enough group we could host. It's probably like 18 people. And so that was fun to host and sing, have our house filled with song. But several of the men there were asking me questions about the men's group, and I had trouble answering the questions because they're like, well, what's the topic? And I'm like, it's not really topic based. It's about creating a container for quality men who are working on themselves to let down their walls and allow our shared experiences, fears, wisdom to lift each other. So I'm super grateful that I got that coming up in a few days. And for Saturdays this weekend. Janet says, good morning. I'm grateful for a house filled with beautiful music this morning, like this gorgeous song, Into Dust, Still Falling. Feels appropriate for you. Awesome. I can't wait to listen. Yamil. Oh, thank you for your beautiful note at the beginning of the week. I was talking with my mom about you and what a gift it has been to meet you when I did, to work together pretty intensely during the Pink Path program, and your baby steps into Burning Man culture and then into camp leadership. Really a real treasured connection. Thank you, Emil. Emil says, I'm grateful for so much. My heart is bursting with gratitude. And Andrew, hello, says, grateful for an absolute amazing burn despite having our camp trashed on day one. I'm still so emotional after this burn. Oh, yay. So happy to hear so many positive reports. And with that, wherever you are, let's give ourselves a big old squeeze, appreciating our bodies, appreciating this moment, appreciating our memories, our resilience, our health, our friendships, all the people in our lives that remind us what a gift it is to be alive and open-hearted. Let's take a deep breath in and squeeze each other. On behalf of Grandpa, Caleb, and all of us, thanks for joining me for Hug Nation Live. I love you. And if you watch this recording, send me a message with something you're grateful for. Thanks, Thanks, everybody. Welcome back. It's always hard when I go, welcome home. I mean, no, not welcome home. Welcome back. You were just home. That's right. I love you too, Julie.